Broncos country, what are we talking about? 2 days away from the Broncos hitting the field. It's pre-season. Game one, the Broncos are taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Storylines galore. Who's playing, who's not? What's the outcome going to be? What are we looking for in this game? We're going to get into the first depth chart of the year. All that, more Broncos country. It's almost here. Smell it in the air. Let's get this started. Oh, I don't know. Right about now. Welcome in, everybody, to the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. Man, it's a welcome back for me, so much so that I messed things up in the background, Jody. Man, I'm trying to fix them as we were speaking, getting in here for the intro, man. It's as one of my favorite bands of all time, Jody used to say, from a while back, man. I don't know how popular they are these days. They took a little bit of resurgence, but Limp Bizkit, it's been one of those days, man. But at that same time, man, we're back here. We're talking Denver Broncos football, and I cannot wait to get started, man.
Fred
Jody,
Durst, baby.
What's that?
Fred Durst, baby.
That's right, man. Fred Durst, baby. Just been one of them days. But, hey, man, I'll tell you what, man. I think we've all had one of them days, right? I don't care if it's you. I don't care if it's me. Patrick Wiltsey will be joining us here soon, making it 3 of us talking about some Broncos football. But all of you out there watching, man, I think we've all had one of them days. But the nice thing is, man, just 2 days away from Broncos hitting the field for the first time, man. We're in here. We're talking Broncos football, man. And I'll tell you what, there's nothing that gets my day turned around more than being able to talk some Broncos football with a few friends. And a few friends mean all of you out there. That's the posse, man. Can't wait to get this started. Jody, are you having one of them days, or hopefully it's just a little bit better than that?
No, it's going good. No complaints. We got football in 2 days, and I'm excited for that. And yeah, football is back.
Football is back. That's right, man. I mean, it's like the funny thing is today, I don't know how it is where you're at. We ended up talking about weather way too much, but the cool front came in. There was a little bit of sprinkle of rain this evening. You know, it's like if there's a reminder that fall is in the air, it's like today was like almost sweatshirt weather, you know, because the highs didn't get all that high. So my goodness, football 2 days away, heading to Atlanta, taking on the Falcons, and storylines galore. But I got to say hello to a few people, man. Like our good friend Graham over on YouTube coming in and saying, Keith, yes, it's true, man. I'm back. It's for real. You know, for the foreseeable future, I'm not looking at missing any episodes. In fact, might see a little bit more of me. Ernie May is coming in and saying, go Broncos country only. Think Broncos big, not 31 teams small. Hello, Keith. Where is the crew? Your boys go. Where are your crew? Your boys go, Jody. Well, Jody's here. Patrick's going to come in, man. That's the DBR crew, man. I mean, you're talking a couple of old school guys on the screen right now, rocking it all the way back to the OG days. So, man, we got you covered. Graham says, don't worry. I do that all the time, Keith. Yeah, messing up in the background right before you go live, making sure you're all set to go. Hoping you're all set to go, everybody, for a fantastic show. Phil McLaughlin coming in saying, good Lord, look who's back. Good evening, Keith. And the judge, man. That's you, Jody, man. It is good to be back, Phil, man. Missed you all. can't wait to talk some Broncos football. I've missed so much of the offseason. I've been keeping track. I'm not out of the loop. Don't worry about that. But yeah, man, cannot wait to talk some Broncos football with you. I got to get into some comments and check for some stars. So bear with me, everybody, as well as Michael Ronquillo comes in and says, "Good evening, Keith and Jody. Go Bo Broncos." Man, I might take a pause just right about there, because that's a great little segue. And if that came with stars and didn't mean to be a segue, I don't care, Ronk. Always coming in here contributing to the show. And I'm going to take this opportunity to take your amazing comment, your support of the show, maybe get into one of the bigger storylines of the preseason game one. No Bo Nix. No Bo Nix. I think, there was question, and we now even got a whole plan of attack of how the Denver Broncos plan to utilize Bo Nix in the preseason. Jody, your thoughts around Bo Nix not getting any playing time game one, but he'll be playing game 2 and game 3.
I'm fine with it. I don't need to see him out there with the 4th or 5th string center. I don't need to see that debacle. Whoever it's going to be, whether Quinn Miners, who hasn't taken any snaps, or Calvin Throckmorton, I don't need to see that. That's not going to help anything. Plus, I would highly doubt J.K. Dobbins plays, Marvin Mims, Waddle. So you're going to have a amount of starters out.
Slow down. Okay, we'll go through all those, man. But and I get where you're coming from, man. Maybe Bo Nix shouldn't play this game. Maybe he doesn't need to be out there with a backup center. But man, for live, the one thing that I'm concerned about, man, what is the timetable for return? Is there a possibility of a relapse? And does that mean that starting game one, Bo Nix for the first time is taking snaps from Calvin Throckmorton, or from the first time taking snaps from Quinn Miners? I don't know what to. I want him to go out there. I want to get some practice, and I don't think delaying that's necessarily going to help anything. You know what I mean? I guess is where I'm getting at. I don't expect him to get a ton of snaps in game 2. Maybe he gets more in game 3. But how many snaps is he going to get? Who are we going to have in and out? How many reps is he going to get with each guy? And especially in a game time situation, maybe more is better. I'm just trying to play a little devil's advocate. I think things will be fine, but let's not just rule out the weight of getting reps in with potentially your starting center sooner rather than later.
For me, I mean, we're still a month away from the season opener, so I would highly expect next week Wattenberg plays. He'll be back. He's been in pads on the side field, so no reason to rush him. I don't think it's a long-term injury there. And then Peyton said Bo will play next week, so yeah, I'm not worried there.
Okay,
you got a month, and within this month, I expect Wattenberg pretty soon and Forsythe to be back. So,
yeah. Like I said, trying to play a little bit of devil's advocate. The thing that just kind of worries me is obviously the injuries that we've seen at center. The latest injury we found out is going to be season-ending for what was going to be our third string center. Yes, we have guys working back and they're on the side field, and all expectation is these guys get back and they should be ready for the start of the season. I just gotta plan for backup plans, and now you get an opportunity to maybe practice with a backup plan in real game, a real game on game action. You know what I mean? So again, just my thoughts, my friend. Just a little bit of a devil's advocate. I truly, I'm not worried. I'm not concerned. But we're going to get into some of the other guys that you're not expecting to play as well. Get to the comments first, though. Got to get caught up. first Michael Ronquillo is the one who mentioned it in here. Center Michael Dieter was placed on IR today. I guess Peyton said it had something to do with his quad, but it was also season ending, but he didn't have any other details. So draw from that what you wish. Long and the short of it is a guy that they were really hoping to maybe step up and be a part of that rotation is now not even going to be able to take the field for the next year. So we wish our best to Michael Dieter. But it does put the Broncos in a little bit of a pickle, and I think they'll be out looking for some other centers possibilities to bring in here to fill out the bottom end of their roster, if nothing else. So I guess that's something everyone will probably be on the lookout for. Kurt Valente, man, Kurt Valente over there, Fan Arch, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hopefully that's right. Got a fantastic Broncos. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted by pop-ups on the screen. Got a fantastic Broncos podcast over there and is always riling up the audience, including, from what I understand, Kurt, a few Chiefs fans as well. I don't need to see anything in these 3 meaningless games. Don't show anything on offense. Get through with no injuries. See everyone week 1 Monday when we beat up on those Chiefs. Let's go, baby. Good to see you, Kurt, man. It seems like it's been a while since talked to you, my friend. And can't wait to talk to you week 1 after we beat the Chiefs. I'll take that, man, every single day of the week. We'll talk about expectations of this game, and I think there's something to be said about their second statement right there. We don't need to show anything on offense. We have an opportunity to have a little bit of a cat in the bag, man. Right now, the cat in the bag that I want to get to before I get any more comments, though, is Mr. Patrick Wiltsey coming to the show. Thank you, Patrick, for coming in, man. How you doing? What is it, today, this evening, yesterday? I always forget, man.
It's like 4 o'clock, so a little after 4 here, so
okay,
still afternoon, not quite evening.
Good to see you, my friend, man. Going to be talking some preseason. Falcons, Broncos going to the Falcons, man. I'm just getting through a few more comments, and I'm going to get your thoughts on a couple of things as well, man.
Sure.
We got Mr. Glenn Ashley coming in and say, good morning, Broncos country, Keith and Jody. Bo Nix was never playing this game on that surface. The decision was made a month ago. Yeah, that's one of the things that Sean Payton said in his presser, that, he thought that this decision was made, I don't know, and he kind of looked off to the side and thought for a second, maybe about a month ago, this decision was made that they weren't going to play him. I think that says a lot about the health of Bo Nix. Perfect opportunity to bring you in, Patrick. What are your thoughts on Bo Nix not playing? This decision potentially being made a month ago, does that tell you everything you need to know about Bo Nix, where he's at and how healthy he is and ready to take on the season for the Denver Broncos?
I think so. I mean, honestly, to me, like I've said to Jody before, that, it just seems that they have confidence in him. They don't want him to fuck it up, that the first game is on turf and, that it's going to stick different. It's going to hit a little different than you've been practicing. And I think they have confidence in him. They just want him to get back to game speed as he goes and have him full on ready to go week 1. I mean, starters don't play in the preseason anymore anyway, really, do they? I mean, some of the linemen, things like that, that's about all you're really seeing anymore. It's not old school, with 2 days and all that kind of stuff we used to have. So,
but that's where it's going to be different versus our opponent, because they're planning on playing their starters. So,
well, they need to.
they need to figure a few things out over there in Atlanta. Great point, Patrick. Great point. It's one of the first part of that comment that we put up of Kurt's was, I don't need to see anything, in these 3 games.
Very vanilla.
And like you were saying, right? There's some teams that need to go out there and there's a lot they need to figure out, right? I think there's a little bit of, hey, maybe we can pump the brakes a little bit. Maybe we don't have to be worried about what we have. A lot of the players are coming back, and we know what we have. You know what I mean? So, cat in the bag.
They're starting
like how I introduced you, cat in the bag.
I've been called worse, but no, they're starting. They're starting Tua. I mean, that should tell you everything right there. They're starting Tua. I mean, so he's not starting the season. So he needs as much time as he can get now, because it's, they might be shopping him later on if Penix can pick it up, or they're 0-8 and decide to tank the rest of the year, whatever it is. It's oh, sorry, I used the T word. I mean, they decide to come in and play and not do as but
play as well for maybe a potential pick, huh?
Right.
Very good.
I mean, they're not the Jets.
No. Boy, man, watch out for the bus. Here comes Patrick Wilson. He's driving. So no, it's true, man. I mean, this I think this team does have a lot more to figure out. They want to figure out what they have, what they don't. And the Broncos might be able to hold a little bit back, man. But Bo Nix not playing. Ultimately, gentlemen, again, I'm not upset. I don't think it's a bad idea. And after we got done talking, there's a lot to prove on that Atlanta side that will be coming after whoever is behind the center, the untested center for the Denver Broncos. Dan's coming in, though. I wanted to jump over there and say, good evening, gentlemen. He says, LFG, go Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos for life. The Denver Broncos will win the Super Bowl this year. Book it. Oh, Nix will be the MVP. Man, Dan, I got to be honest. I'm not too far off from what you're saying here, my friend. I mean, tell me what the Broncos are missing after making it to the AFC Championship last year. Did they get better? Did they get worse? There's an argument that this team is stronger, better, going to have more explosiveness, I think, than we've seen in the past. Jody, are you with Dan? Are you on board? Is it LFG? We're going to the Super Bowl, man? Is that the expectation at this point in your mind?
Yeah, it's definitely Super Bowl or bust for me. In the way that they pretty much brought everything back. I mean, there were a few additions, but they've pretty much ran it back. So I think they feel, with Bo Nix going down and internally making some switches, Davis Webb calling plays, that type of thing, that getting J.K. Dobbins back, that they're right there. So
yeah. I think I just feel it, man. I feel that there's more fire and passion in this team to go just as far, if not to go all the way. I'll just say it, to go out there and win a Super Bowl. I mean, if you look at everything that every guy put in order to get there last year, and almost every single one of those players are coming back, right? We talked about, before Jalen Waddle was added to this roster, it was a run it back roster. Nothing was happening. We made basically one move when it came to free agency that basically saved that, and then we went into the draft like every other team. So this team is very much the same team that we had last year in a lot of aspects, more than almost any other team ever sees, right? You have the fact that Bo Nix goes down. He's in that locker room on the ground, finding out that he's not going to be able to play the next game. It's that bad. You have Sean Payton having to walk out there and have that press conference. You're telling me this team isn't itching just to go back and run it all the way back? Sorry, I'm getting off on a big tangent that doesn't have to do with preseason football, but I'm telling you, man, I'm excited. Dan, Super Bowl, absolutely. I think this is a job's not done. Job's not done. They're going to go out there and they want to get a job done, man.
But I'll throw out some things when everyone, yes, they're running it back, but if you just look at the AFC title game, you will Bo Nix. There's one. J.K. Dobbins, 2.
Hmm.
Jonah Coleman, 3. The huge acquisition, Jalen Waddle, 4. Then you expect the emergence. I mean, just look at the AFC title game. Pat Bryant didn't play. Troy Franklin didn't play. That's 2 guys right there. On defense, you're expecting big leaps from Malcolm Roach and Wazarike. So you're expecting big leaps from Q Robinson this year, Jonah Ellis.
Yeah.
If reports are true, what you're hearing in camp, Riley Moss is taking that leap to be a 1A or 1B to Pat Surtain. So, and I've said for a while too, just to go get guys in free agency. What that doesn't mean just to get somebody. You need somebody that you're going to upgrade with, and just to get them doesn't really do anything for me. So.
Yeah, I agree, man. Really quick, I want to hit a few more comments. I see Phil in here. I see Michael Ronquillo in here. I see Ernie Mays in here. I see Roy Osborne in here. You had a list of other guys that you're not expecting to play this game. Jody, why don't you go through that list just a little bit slower? Me and Patrick here, we're going to get some reactions on it. And go ahead whenever you're ready, my friend.
Nothing's been official, but I would say
we got that. We got that, man.
Just me. I don't think Waddle's playing. I don't think Franklin's playing. Probably Mims. So that's 3 wide receivers in your top 5. I don't think will play. Nate Atkins probably won't play.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting. Not only your starting center in Wattenberg, but your backup in Forsyth won't play. And I would probably say J.K. Dobbins won't play on the off. That's just on the offensive side. So, that's one of the reasons I don't need Nix out there. You get a backup running back in there, misses a blitz. You get a center who takes a wider step or whatever and steps on the ankle or something like that. I don't. And I say that because they've mentioned it multiple times. Nix is going to be under center more this year, so that type of thing on defense, I would expect most guys to play.
Yeah,
I mean everyone's pretty much been healthy, so I would expect most guys to play, other than maybe Enrique. He's been out a little bit.
Yeah, could see even potentially a PS2 getting a little bit of a break.
Yeah, and then whatever they do with Cooper, I don't know.
Well, it sounded like he's in the presser. It sounded like he's going to play. He said, "I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to answer on every player." He's like, "All right, well, he's going to play. That's the last one." So expect. And then he was asked right after, and he said, "Yeah, we just go ahead and we follow protocol and what the league says we can and can't do, and yada yada." That was the next answer that Sean Payton gave at the podium. So I expect actually some Jonathan Cooper action as well. I'm going to get back around to that offense that was missing lots of pieces. And Patrick, you were nodding your head. You were in agreement with a lot of it. From offensive linemen to wide receivers to potentially a running back that Jody didn't think was going to play. What are your thoughts on all of that? J.K. Dobbins, the wide receivers, and obviously some offensive linemen that we won't see hit the field for obvious reasons too.
Well, I mean, I'd be surprised if I don't think Dobbins needs to be out there yet. I mean, he's getting his time. He's good. Got that little bit of muscle pull or whatever it was, the soft tissue. Let him get the bruise healed up. I think he'll be all right. I mean, Coleman needs to get in there and go, and they need to see if he can test it, what he does against the similar talent. Because I mean, they're starting some people on Atlanta's side, but it's going to be, for the most part, it's going to be third rounders against third rounders, or, whatever, people trying to show a spot and make the team. Hopefully, like I'd like to see Jolie and what was that, the other tight end?
Dallin Bentley.
Bentley. Yep. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see them getting out there and showing they can. I mean, if they can block, it's still a 300-pounder's a 300-pounder. So if they can block somebody, show me you can do that. That's more what I'm looking for. Some of these guys to show that they can fill out the special teams, so that when they're called up and they are the next guy up or the next man up because somebody got hurt, we know that they're capable of doing it.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Yeah, the only thing that scares me, I talked about it, I think last episode as well, is that wide receiver situation. That's all timing. It's a new offense. It's Davis Webb. Jody, if your predictions are right and we're down 3 of our main guys, I know we don't need to rush him back. I know we got still over a month before we actually have a meaningful game of football. But we got 2 preseason games, and for me, I think the preseason games are fairly meaningful to go up and against an opponent, but it doesn't mean anything as far as the outcome is concerned. Ultimately, you can get blown out on the scoreboard. It means more about what you're doing on the field and how you actually react in real time situations. New offense, new offensive weapons. I want this team to be off and firing. We have a brutal 6-game start to our schedule. You can't stumble coming out the gates. So every rep really does count. So if we're not taking them in game 1, if we're not able to, man, let's put them all in during the practices. Let's get out there game 2, game 3. When maybe you're feeling a little bit better and we're a little bit more ready to go, let's get that practice in. We need to hit the ground running. That's my only point to all of this. So, but yeah, let's not hurt anybody. Let's not rush anybody back. Let's not put anybody in a bad position. So, Peter Johnson, he's been in the comments. He says, my biggest concern with this team is they have gotten a little complacent. I believe their own hype kind of mindset. Last year was nice, but the reality is they achieved nothing, in my opinion. Well, they didn't achieve the ultimate goal. I'll definitely give you that, Peter. I came on here saying job's not done. I think that's the mindset that they would come into with. Are you getting a feeling of complacency in any way, Peter? I'd love to know where your thought process is around that. It does seem like maybe Sean Payton isn't as the hard-nosed guy that he once was when he first walked in the door. At least, doesn't bite your head off in every press conference. Seems like he's a little bit more open. I don't know. Is it the nice new facility that they're working in compared to the tough older days? No, I'm serious, man. I'm not making fun, man. I don't want a team that's complacent, man. And if you see things that I'm not seeing, man, by all means, point them out. But for me, I'm hoping at least that this team comes fired up, man, just short of what they really wanted to do. And a lot of them, being able to come back and right that ship, including a guy that went down and wants to lead this team. So, Peter, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate everyone coming in here and having a conversation.
I don't feel that way. I'm 180 on that comment for a couple of reasons. One, Bo Nix, to what he put out this offseason to get back and the work he's put in. He knew when that happened, and you watched little signs on the field, him hopping right after that play and telling Josh. You go back and he's telling Josh Allen something in his ears. He's walking off, and they had the little group huddle before he left. He knew he wasn't playing in next week in the title game, so he's super motivated. J.K. Dobbins, we know he's super motivated just to play a full season. And then you got guys.
Pinky promise.
Look at Sean Payton. If Sean Payton felt this was easy and was complacent, do you think he would have given up play calling duties to a first-time guy that's never called plays before? Then you got guys like Mike McGlinchey, who's been to the game before and lost, so I know they're hungry to get back.
Yeah.
Garrett Bowles, Sutton, who are on the back end of their career, who've never been there, who want a taste of that. So I think they're super hungry. And Sean Payton, and back to Sean Payton, would he go like his third year as a head coach and hasn't been back since? So I think he's super hungry, want to be that first coach to ever win it with 2 different teams, solidify himself as a Hall of Famer. all that. So I think there's a lot of motivation why they're hungry.
I'm going to hit Michael Ronquillo's comment really quick. I agree. I think a lot of hunger, but I like I said, I respect everybody, man. If you're seeing something, hearing something, knowing something that I don't know, by all means, man. I'm the guy. I'm all ears, man. I ain't too proud. By all means, let me know what you're hearing. Peter, I appreciate you coming in, being a part of the posse as always. Michael Ronquillo says, and I want to address this really quick, guys. I read some Broncos players will not travel with the Denver Broncos to Atlanta. Sean Payton, when he came out in his presser, said that basically anybody that was injured would be staying behind, and they have their own rehab situation there. Otherwise, they'll pretty much be going with the team. And he pointed out, he's like, rarely is it good if anybody's trying to come back from an injury to put them on a plane. So you don't usually want to do that. It's probably better if they just stay here. They get themselves better. He was asked about Bo Nix if he would be staying or going, because obviously he's not going to be playing. So why would he be going? He said, "Well, I think we decided he's going to be going. He was one of those last ones we decided. So expect to see Bo Nix on the sidelines. He won't be one of those guys that stay behind in Denver. So I gotta love that as well. So yeah. Hey, maybe this is what Peter was talking about, because I did see this. Sean Payton took the Broncos players to watch the new Spider-Man movie. Are we getting a little complacent? Are we having Nathaniel Hackett family days during training camp? I mean,
No, again, I don't think so. I mean, I think this is a team bonding session, and the fact they've been in pads for the last 4 or 5 years, I don't think 4 or 5 days. I mean, he's getting them ready. I think. Yeah. I mean, and he's said it. They're doing whatever he's calling it, open warm-ups and cool-down warm-up or cool-down sessions. These soft tissue injuries, I think, really haven't rattled. So I think he's doing some different things in practice to try to combat that. So, yeah, I mean, if Sean Payton had won 4 or 5 Super Bowls, I could see him maybe being complacent. But when you talk to most people, he's fringe Hall of Fame, and Super Bowl puts that from fringe to no doubt. So I think he has motivating factors for that, motivating factors to stick it to the league for some of the stuff that they've done to him. So, yeah, he's motivated.
He's motivated. Dan's coming in here, and he's he thinks the team is hungry and mad, in his opinion. That's what he's seeing. Again, I get it. Like I said, maybe it was the Superman movie. Like I said, Sean Payton's been awfully nice, to the media. I mean, he came in, man. You never knew what day he was going to rip heads and which day he was going to just at least be cordial with you when he took the podium. And it seems like that is certainly softened. And yeah, so there is a balance, man.
I think it helps that Luca Evans is departed, the guy that likes to troll him a lot from that press conference. He's gone and off to California. So,
well, good luck in California, Luca Evans, I guess. Glenn is actually going to come on with a comment that's going to bring me into, I think, the next portion that we want to get into. Don't let me get too carried away. I might need to make sure I get a sponsor in here as well. But Glenn comes in here and he says, big misconception that this is a new offense. Davis Webb has been with Bo Nix for a while. We have seen the same core group with additions of Waddle, Dallin Bentley, Justin Jolly. The same old line, though, too. You guys can call me crazy, but I really think that this is going to be a completely different offense. I think we've even kind of heard about it in training camp, and I think from what we've heard, we probably should see. We should probably listen to more about what we saw in training camp, or whoever saw in training camp, than probably what we see for these preseason games, keeping that cat in the bag once again. But, the tight ends all of a sudden have opened up. Bo Nix is now under center. The running game looks different. Even Mike McGlinchey, when he took the podium, he's like, well, I'm not going to tell you like our trade secrets, but we're run blocking different, and our passing assignments might look a little bit different. But that's all he's like, it's different. That's all he's going to let out of the bag. I don't think this is going to be the same offense. I think the biggest question is how big of a difference will it be from Sean Payton's offense? I'm going to go to Patrick since we've lost you. While we have you, my friend.
Sorry.
No, it's all right, my friend. Let's get your opinion in on this first, man. Do you think it's going to be a different offense, and how big of a difference is it going to be compared to Sean Payton's in your opinion?
I think it's still going to be his offense. I think it's just Webb's going to tweak it and do some maybe more aggression here and there, or some razzle dazzle somewhere that there wasn't before, because every time the last 3 years, we're going to concentrate on the run game, and then they do the run game, and then in the second half they hand it off twice. Because they're behind. So I think a lot of it'll be, if they can play with the lead, I think you'll see a completely different offense. But if they're having to play the backyard, schoolyard, whatever you want to call it, back alley offense to come up and win by a field goal or whatever at the last minute, then no, you're not going to see anything different, because they know what works. They proved it last year. But I really hope to see just some tweaks. Just some tweaks.
Some small tweaks, and certainly you're right, man. When we were, if you look at how many games that we won by small margins and the number of comeback wins that the Denver Broncos had last year, you don't uncoach that. You don't try to recoach that. And quite honestly, that's just something that happens with a great quarterback like Bo Nix in the moment. Takes over, sees everything different, gets outside the pocket, makes things happen. I think you're right. You won't see a whole lot of difference as far as that's concerned when we're absolutely needing to go out there and take over a game. Quite honestly, that's where Bo Nix is himself. But the core of the offense, the difference between Sean Payton and Davis Webb. Jody, what are your thoughts, man? How big of a difference will it be? Will it be a big difference? Is Glenn right? Do you think it's going to be a big misconception that we're going to see a lot of the same?
I think Glenn is right. At the core, this offense is going to be a lot the same. I've said for a while, I think what you're going to see more of is second half of Bo Nix rookie year type offense, more deep shots. From reports, it sounds like throwing over the middle has been much more of a focus this camp. I expect that. Someone mentioned in there the motions. That's been mentioned multiple times by people there at camp. The motions, the not so many different play in 3 or 4 different players, play in 3 or 4 different players every time. That's going to be different. And then I think there'll be a real commitment to the run game. They don't want Bo leading the NFL in pass attempts again this year. So,
great point.
So that's where the difference is. But the base and all that, it's not a whole new different. It's not a whole new It's going to be a lot of Sean Payton stuff with some sprinkling in of some modern stuff that Davis Webb adds, that type of thing. I don't think it's going to be dramatic, except for there will be more down the field shots. And when I say down the field, I don't mean 40-yard bombs. I'm talking the 15 to 25 intermediate shots, those type of things that if you go back Bo's rookie year, I mean, he was throwing the ball over the middle a lot more, that type of thing. That's what I expect.
Yeah, I just feel like there's going to be a little bit of a thumbprint. I think we're going to notice a difference. I think one of the other big things that's been, and I hope the Broncos, I'm sure they're taking notice. I hope it just makes it into the idea and the mindset. Whenever they went up tempo, they were performing fantastic in training camp. Whenever they pushed the tempo, they did fantastic. And I was thinking about it too. Why the Broncos shouldn't just excel at home like we used to. And Jody, I know you talked about it. And you mentioned it even in what you were talking about, maybe a difference in a change. The substitutions go down. You keep an up-tempo offense. You keep those guys on the field. You're wearing them down. They came in from Florida, and now they're playing in the Mile High, and they're not getting off the field. And you're back up to the line of scrimmage, and they didn't even have a time to take a knee, before they had to get right back into their stand. I mean, you want to talk about a running game getting going. You want to talk about an offense that plays with a lead, Patrick. I think that's something that we absolutely need to take advantage of. And, by all means, it's well within our grasp, but I think we've let that slip away. And whether it be substitutions and not allowing so many on our own behalf, like you were talking about, Jody, or running more of an up-tempo, high-paced offense where you keep those guys on the field. Don't allow the substitutions on defense. Now we're talking about playing into the hands of your own environment, something that no one else gets to control. I think that's one of the things that we could see that'd be different. So again, just a little bit more up tempo, maybe a little less huddling, more at the line of scrimmage, keeping guys on the field. It'll be interesting to see. I got to hit our sponsor break really quick. I got to get into some comments because I even see new ones coming in as we speak. But we have an amazing sponsor. Morgan Trinkets has been your headquarters for Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold at wholesale prices for over 35 years. They put on an amazing show up at Cheyenne Frontier Days and rock the house up there. And right around the corner, August 14th through 17th, I need to have you check them out at the Greeley Dog Show. Fantastic venue, one of their favorite venues. And another reason Pearl, the owner of Morgan Trinkets, our amazing sponsor, also has dogs in the show, so we need to root her on as well. Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold at wholesale prices, a dog show, and a sponsor that you can root on as well, all happening August 14th through the 17th. Like I said, the Greeley Dog Show. Morgan Trinkets, that's the place you would need to check out. And by the way, they killed it up in Cheyenne because of all the amazing deals they had on their gold and their silver and their Southwest jewelry. They had amazing sale prices. It's continuing in Greeley. Go check them out. If you don't mind too, just one other little kind of sponsor here. Lion Coffee in my cup, man. While I have you, Patrick, for a second, man, you know more about Lion Coffee than anybody. We appreciate what you do from coast to coast, the world's best coffee, in my opinion. Talk a little bit about Lion Coffee, where they can get it as well, my friend.
Well, we got lioncoffee.com. We got royalconacoffee.com. So, I mean, it's, there's a couple different spots. Hawaii Coffee is the main, not Honolulu. Honolulu's a different company, so it's Hawaii Coffee. But we're roasting every day. We're roasting a lot to order on certain ones. So you order new, you're getting it 3-4 days after it's roasted. I mean, people are going to hopefully enjoy that. I enjoy that much more.
Wonderful.
I gotta get Jody enjoying something. So far, Jody, he hasn't. He's been kind of I think he's gonna hit me with something good someday, but I gotta get him in on it. But coffee for me is perfect because the games come on. It's early morning out here when the games come on, so I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there with my coffee, like not having to be anything. So it works out for me pretty good. It's hand in hand, coffee and football. So.
Love it, man. Lion Coffee, lioncoffee.com. Best way to go. And like I said, I used to be all over the place searching for a good coffee, man. I would go out of my way to get Lion Coffee. If that doesn't say anything for you, I don't know what will, man. Check them out. If you're a coffee lover, you'll love Lion Coffee. Oh yeah.
I am gonna run then. I'm sorry. I gotta my appointment's stepping up and looking me in the eyes like, let's go. So
Okay, man. No more evil eyes for you,
I
man. But we'll
appreciate
see
it.
you again soon, man. Can't wait to
Saturday,
talk to
right?
Broncos football. Saturday it'll be, man.
All
No
right.
doubt, man.
Thanks,
All right,
Jody.
brother.
See you later.
See
Brother,
ya.
appreciate you so much. Have a good night.
Okay, man.
That's the end of Patrick. Just like that, man. Just like that. Patrick's gone, but it's all right, man. We'll bring down the fort, man. Corey's coming in and saying, don't know if you saw it, but the Seahawks and the Broncos are going to wear their throwbacks for that Thursday night game. Got a couple of throwback jersey nights. I think we have another one at the end of the year, if I remember correctly, as well. So that'll be fun. Versus the Chargers, if I remember correctly, and near the end of the year. Corey, you're probably on it. Let me know if I'm wrong, my friend. Peter, comes in and says, starting faster and playing ahead on the scoreboard would be massive for this team. We can't expect this team to win so many close comeback games again. Absolutely right, man. I think what we saw was an anomaly as far as the percentages. We certainly nothing that I want to rely on, Jody. Speaking of relying on, sometimes, as we know, you can't rely on your starting quarterback, and we're going to be trying to figure out who our backup quarterback is as well. Jarrett Stidham, Sam Ehlinger, they're both going to get a half in this upcoming game. Any thoughts on that? Any expectations? It's a true-on battle at QB2 at this point.
I think this game might be one of the most important just because they're both going to be playing with backup wide receivers. You're not going to get whoever starts getting the starters and that type of stuff. Whoever starts is going to get Sutton for 15 plays, maybe Pat Bryant, but you're going to get a full half pretty much of backup wide receivers, and so is whoever starts the second half. So I think this is going to be very important. And if Ehlinger wants to win this job, I think this is where he needs to have big games. So make it where Sean Payton feels comfortable moving off of Stidham.
Yeah, I think that's in his hands. Everything he's been doing in training camp, by all reports, has been right up to snuff with Jarrett Stidham, if not in front of. In fact, there might be more for Jarrett Stidham to prove in this game, I think, than Sam Ehlinger. And you're right. I didn't think about that, man. I mean, you get the best draw here. You know, do they draw straws? Do they figure out who's gonna get the first half and the better and the better guys on the field? You know,
I think this will be pretty simple. I think Stidham will start the game if you start Sam Ehlinger, then you're going to hear the chirps and all that type of stuff from here on out. So you start Stidham and you make it as drama-free as you can.
Fair enough. But, boy, what a nice draw to have, my friend, to be out there with the starters. Sam Ehlinger will be playing a little bit more uphill, but you know what? Maybe the competition will level out since the Falcons will be bringing their starters to start. Michael Ronquillo I saw this as well, Michael, but I appreciate you bringing it up on the screen for us. The Broncos announced all their jerseys for the 2026 season. They're going to wear their throwbacks like we were talking about with our Seahawks fans, Corey, and in week 6, and then again in week 18, like I was saying, versus the Chargers. They have a midnight blue jersey game against the Rams in week 3. And if I remember right, they have one other one in the midnight blue, only 2 midnight blues. Everything else is going to be white or orange, sunset orange or summit white for all the other games, except for the throwbacks. So
I will say I did hear that they're going one game with like orange pants and the blue jersey, which I thought when they did that a couple of years ago, I think they did the blue pants and orange jersey or something. I thought it didn't look very good. So hopefully it's a one and done thing.
There you go. There was nothing that worse though than back in the day with the old uniforms when they had the stripes that went from the pants up onto the shirt, and then every once in a while they'd wear a combination where it didn't even like match up, which was always a little bit embarrassing. So
when they went over to London or whatever, and they had the white jerseys and the blue pants, that was bad. But I did hear something that they I think that they had that they could do unlimited amounts of the white or the midnight blue. So there was no like the throwbacks. I think they can only wear them twice. So
Yeah, correct. Yeah. That's fair. It's an alternate, and then you got your home and your way and your throwback. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Corey is like a lot of Broncos fans. He's a Seahawk fan. He's like the Seahawk fans just want to go back to the throwbacks full time. I think that's where most Broncos fans are at. If all of a sudden they just rolled out next season with the big D on the helmet full time, I don't think you would hear a chorus of boos as they took the field. That's for dang sure. I think a lot of people would be pretty on board with that decision. The all-white Broncos jersey will be sick, says Mike.
What did they call a snow out is what I think they were calling it.
Yep. Let's get it going. Trevor, I know that we were talking a little bit about maybe some depth chart. We could certainly do that. Is there anything else, though, on this preseason game that we're missing that I glossed over? I know that we're coming up on our hour here. I don't want to keep everybody, and maybe we'll just be back sooner than you ever thought. So,
I think I mentioned it in the chat. I think the only thing that I really was two things. Mims was listed as a starter in 3 wide receivers over Franklin, which I thought, and over Bryant, which I thought was telling, especially where Franklin was probably your number 2 wide receiver last year.
Phil jumped in with that comment. He thought it was great to see Mims listed above Franklin on the roster. It was the Pat Bryant that you mentioned that took me by surprise on that list, though.
So that was one, and then Malcolm Roach being listed as a starter, and I think Savion Jones was like 3rd on the depth chart at one spot, which I thought was, and then that for me was about it. I mean,
yeah,
we all know he listed the rookie. I mean, Jonah Coleman, the 6th running back. I mean, they had him behind Cody Schrader, who's the practice squad. We know he's not making this team. So, that other than that, nothing really stood out. Oh, I guess the only other thing that stood out for me, Alex Pacheski, everyone that keeps saying, oh, he's in a battle for maybe to be your starting left guard. Well, he's not even listed as the backup there. He's listed as the backup right tackle. So,
yeah. And that's and I think we've seen that in the past with him too, as well. You know what I mean? Everyone keeps trying to push him around, but when they have an idea for a guy at a spot, they will usually keep on board with that. You know what I mean? So Palczewski, not a guard, maybe surprising, but at the same time, it seems like the Broncos just kind of hold firm on stuff like that. I just got to go back though, man. Mims above Pat Bryant, and I get it. I guess I get it, but boy, for everyone having equal opportunity, and when you walk in the doors at training camp, seems like Pat Bryant should be rising up that list. He should be itching right there, and maybe that's just a hot seat type of position. That 3rd wide receiver spot, could be very, very hot seat-ish, leading up to and even during the season. Maybe we play a little bit more of a hot hand at that position. So I think it'll just be interesting to see how that plays out, man. That was the big shock for me.
Well, I'll say the other one that I thought was a little, they had Matt Parrott above Frank Crum, left tackle.
Yeah.
And I didn't have Matt Parrott making the 53. So if he's going to
be
on
it was
this
a
roster,
shock. Yeah.
So if he's going to be on this roster, you're carrying 10 offensive linemen, because I don't think you're cutting Frank Crum, and if that's who it's down to. So
yeah,
that was a little, but other than that, I don't really have nothing else really stood out to me. So
no wow surprises out there, man. I guess last thing, man, any wow surprises in this game, man? Let's talk about that, man. Any expectations that you have? And I think we'll get into some final thoughts, man. I'm getting prepped. I'm getting ready. Can't wait to sit down, watch some Broncos football. I'll leave some more thoughts for my final thoughts. But you know, it's right around the corner. Like I started off this show, man, 2 days away, man. So any last things on before we, I guess, head on out of here and get ready to watch this football game in a couple days?
For me, more backups. I want to see who sees the field at middle linebacker after the starters. I want to see that. I want to see who sees the field as safety after the starters.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would like to see when Moss and PS2 come out, who is the first one outside? Is it Jahdae Barron or is it Chris Abrams-Drains? Because it sounds like both have been getting work out there, so I would like to see that. And then I want to see how Tyler Odietum and Savion Jones play. It's time for Savion Jones to step up. The fact that he's listed third on the depth chart is probably not a good sign.
That's fair.
Other than that, there's not really much I want to see. I mean, you got your starters. I think Ellis and Robinson will play a little bit. Other than that, there's really not much for me.
Yeah.
Those would be the big ones for me.
You know, for me, I think this time of year, I'm always looking at first off the rookies from this year. You know, their opportunity to get on the field, really see them in more of an NFL situation. But then I guess I really just start to go back through the years, right? There's guys every single year that we can look back and say, you know, I don't care. You could look at, I'm throwing a crazy name out there, Caleb Lohner, and say, man, I'd love to see some Caleb Lohner. You know what I mean? Whatever it happens to be, I think he's actually dealing with an injury. He might be one of those guys that are left behind. But just as an example, man, I always want to look back and see those guys that are on the back end of the roster. Are they developing? Sean Payton comes in all the time and says, we have a plan for this guy. We have a plan for him. We have a plan for that guy. You know, is that plan developing? This is the time that you're going to see it. That guy that's been in the system with the team now for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years. By the time he's here for 3 years, if he's been here for 3 years and he's not starting, you know, we should have some serious eyes on this guy. So it's that back end of the roster, right? I think like a lot of people were saying, Kurt was saying, and a lot of people were saying, we're not going to let a whole lot out, show a whole lot. So I'm not expecting to see the brand new offense or what we've been scheming up on defense. It's all about the X's and O's. And I was thinking about this a little bit earlier, man. How blessed are we, man? We weren't in this position a few years ago. We're talking about backup quarterbacks and depth pieces and draft picks from a few years ago. We're not talking about who's going to be our starter at every single position on the field and where all these different competitions are going to lie for who's going to be out there, you know, starting day one. We have a pretty good idea. This, as Peter said, fingers crossed, everyone comes out healthy on both teams. Knock on wood for that, Peter. Absolutely. So let's hope everyone gets healthy and we head in there. Corey was coming in late. I'll just say Corey was really excited about Jonah Coleman and even wanted him as a replacement for K9 up in Seattle. The NFL made Sean Payton put out the depth chart, always with Sean Payton. He's going to hold everything as close to his vest as possible. And he also comes in with an absolutely great call out. Linebacker Drew Sanders will play. Linebacker Drew Sanders is one of those guys that I'm taking a look, watching, seeing if there's what's there, if he understands what he's doing on the field. He's got to show something if he's out there and he's running around. So Drew Sanders playing. That's a good call out, Michael. Appreciate you, my friend.
I will tell Corey that he will be more than happy with the Jadarian Price pick. So
yeah,
he will love that. That was my number 2 running back. So
I was going to say, Corey, if you need a fan to root on your running back up in Seattle, just give Jody a call, man. He'll be by your side, man. He will be by your side. And you know what? every right to be, my friend. Every right for what that guy did in college, for what that system set up for. If things click into place, that could be a perfect marriage, and you could see K9 plus. You know what I mean? Potentially up there in Seattle.
And I will say, you got to give him a lot of credit too. I mean, for 2 years, he easily could have transferred out and went and started somewhere and been the guy, and sit there and probably about 70-30 carries with Love. So, I mean, he was dedicated to that program, and I think he will do the same in Seattle. So,
we're not going to do score predictions, Jody. Just give me one guy you think will surprise us in this game. One guy that you think will surprise us. I don't care if it's a special teamer, man. One guy that you think we'll just be talking about come Saturday morning.
Sam Ehlinger. I think he's going to have a big game.
Like it. I'm going to go someplace that it sounds like you would like to hear. I'm going to say Q Robinson's going to come out motivated. We'll talk a little bit about Q Robinson come Saturday. Those are our predictions as far as the Broncos versus the Falcons. Can't wait to be back here. We'll be back on Saturday with another episode of the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. Patrick Wiltsey was on here reminding me of that as well. Thank you to everybody, the Posse members who came in, the star givers that I will obviously be thanking behind the scenes because I didn't get set up in my temporary situation to do that appropriately throughout this podcast. From all of me to all of you who certainly put some stars out there, man. Just know that you are appreciated. But, man, comments off the charts, man. Love y'all coming in here, being a part of the action, being a part of the conversation. Thanks again to our amazing sponsor, Morgan Trinkets, always out there taking care of us. And, yeah, football's back. Let's go. That's the last comment I see. I can't wait to go. But we get out of here when I'm around. One way and one way only. You got your boots in the stirrups, guns in the holsters, and, of course, keep the Denver Broncos in your heart. Until next episode, see you Saturday, everybody. We're out of here. Mile High Salute. Good night.